Have you been thinking of launching your own podcast, but not sure where to start? Well, we were in your same position when we started. That's when we found Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout makes podcasting easy. With Buzzsprout, you can launch a professional podcast in no time. In fact, Buzzsprout has already helped over 100,000 people get their podcast launched. With Buzzsprout, you'll get a great looking website, audio players to drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening, and tools to promote your episodes, and much, much more. Plus, Buzzsprout publishes new blog posts, YouTube videos, and podcast episodes on a weekly basis to help you become a better podcaster. So if you're ready to start your own podcast, just click the link in the show notes and receive a $20 Amazon gift card for signing up. This lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you, and it also supports our show. Buzzsprout, the easiest way to start your podcast. Thanks.
You know, the issue, young man, is that you're doing things backwards. Okay, you're doing the thing that's supposed to be last. What God meant last, He meant that climax. That's what's called a climax because it's supposed to the end, right? Yeah. He meant for that climax. He meant for you to have that after you went and put a ring on and all those things. You're doing it backwards. So now you got that first. You're so clouded because that thing got you. You, man, gosh, dang it, I need to see her again and again. Negroes be spending all day with each other, movie, Netflixing it up, and all of that daggone stuff, and don't really even know each other emotionally yet.
Definitely not.
Guess when they find that out? After now we got to deal with each other. Now we got baby mama, whatever the case may be. Guess what they find that out? You understand? Like I'm not sitting here saying that we didn't have it done before. You know, we had a kid outside of it, and definitely. I've had to find out things about my wife after the fact. I'm like, dang. Yeah. Now I got to adjust to. I didn't know that. I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know. I should have been talking to her more.
And here we go. You're listening to the Kings Can Move On podcast with your hosts, Jason Stewart and Frank Rain.
What up, world? Welcome to the Kings Can Move On podcast. You have your co-host right here, Frank the Tank, a.k.a. Big Reno. What's happening?
And what's up, everybody? It's your boy Lil J, a.k.a. Wood, and also on Instagram as Casey the H-Town. Come follow your boy. So welcome to the show, everybody.
Hold on, wait a minute. Now we throwing out Instagram stuff, dog. See how you always get on me.
Hey,
get on me about my AKAs, and then you just gonna throw out your. I don't even know what my Instagram is, dog. But you just throwing your stuff out there.
I need a plug, so yeah, I gotta get my name out there. I need to connect. Anybody trying to follow you, follow you, boy. Again, KC the H-Town. You cut me off on my flow. Well, like I was gonna say, if you watch this on YouTube, please subscribe and like. If you follow us on Apple, Spotify, Google, rate and follow. With that said, welcome to the show, everybody. Reno,
what's happening
tonight? I want you to go ahead and do the introductions, please.
Hey, today on the podcast, I have a special. I can't even call him my friend. I call him my family because I've known him for so long. I think it spreads almost 30 years. Known this young man, long time, and I would like to welcome him and his wife. They have their own podcast. They'll talk to you about it, but we got Nnamdi and TK. I'm looking. I just looked on. I was trying to look on my Instagram to see what my name was. And somebody named Nancy popped up.
Your name Nancy? What the hell? What we doing, dog?
Nancy and TK.
I take my Adderall medicine, man. That's my fault. We got Nnamdi and TK.
Again too.
Yeah. Hello.
What's
up? How y'all doing today?
Mr. Nancy. Yeah.
Great, man.
Good.
Great.
Very good. Excited to be here.
Definitely excited to be here.
Get into it.
Yeah. I love the name of the podcast, by the way. That's just
you know what? I didn't say that. If you are listening and watching, Kings Can Move On. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you.
Oh, wow. I love that. Okay,
period.
Y'all better lift up each other because we going to do it. We're going to lift up the queens. I love it.
Yeah. And you know what? When Wood came to me with the name of the podcast and what he was thinking, I'm like, okay, yeah, I love that. But it took me about a month to realize that Kings Can Move On, KCMO, was the initials. I'm like, dog, did you know? He was like, come on, man. I'm like,
that's crazy.
I didn't even think of that.
That's really
dope.
crazy.
That's real
dope.
That's
dope.
Yeah.
So welcome aboard, guys.
Thank you. Got a podcast, right? What's the name of your podcast?
Well, it's the Iwegbus.
Yes.
So first off, again, my name is Nnamdi, and this is my lovely wife.
Yes, Takesha. Everyone calls me TK.
Together we are the Iwegbus. We have a YouTube channel where we motivate kingdom living in the areas of fitness, finance,
relationships,
and
marriage,
overall lifestyle. So we actually haven't converted it to the podcast just yet, but it'll probably by this time that they see this, it'll be on there. So that's probably not even worth saying. But yeah, you can find us there on YouTube. The Iwegbus.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're gonna put in the show notes the name of it so we can give you a shout out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And when y'all get big and stuff, and get y'all own reality show. Fly me down, man. I'll be able to help out as much as I can.
For sure. For sure, we will. Hey,
you gonna get flued out.
Come on. Hey, flued out.
So Nnamdi and TK, where are you guys located right now?
We're in Atlanta, Georgia.
That's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy hearing it.
That's crazy saying that,
crazy.
Man.
You know, I was just
first time saying.
I was just looking at my journal today because I was doing a brain dump. And do y'all know what a brain dump is?
No.
You just take everything out your brain and write it out. Yeah.
Yes, it's like so simple, but like so genius. And I just had, y'all know, school is about to start, just a bunch of stuff to get done. So I was like, let me write everything down. But I saw my notes from like earlier last year, mid last year, and I was like, I am happily living in Georgia in my beautiful new home. And so it's crazy, like remembering writing this down in the living room of our old house. Like I was envisioning that. And then just to hear, I'm sorry, going far left, but like hearing you say that, like, oh my God, we are here. That's crazy.
Yeah. Cause this was a year in the making for even doing this shift and move. It took praying, fasting,
heartbreak,
saving, all this type of stuff. Heartbreak, everything, man. It's big. It was major shift for us. Yeah.
And that's a big move, man, because y'all was in Kansas City and both of y'all born and raised here, in KC.
Yep. Definitely.
What made you make that big move like that?
I say it was a few things. Number one, obviously my wife is into Christian hip hop. So she's in Christian hip hop. A lot of things that's going on in Christian hip hop this is like the nucleus of it all here. So like literally you get here, you like, dang, I didn't even know all of these artists stayed here. That's crazy. But I was having a flyer down here and stuff, and I'm like, man, forget that. Let's just go while it's hot. You're in the prime of your life. Let's do it right now. So we have no regrets about it. We've been wanting to get out of KC altogether, but it took, I got, as you know, Reno, I got 2 older kids and stuff. So I wanted them to be at a certain age and things of that sort, to where they can fly to me, things of that sort. But so as number one was also a prospering African-American community. You don't really, unfortunately, see that. So like in St. Louis, even down the street from KC, Dallas, Houston, Jay could even attest to this. You have neighborhoods that are pretty affluent. That's all African-American. Tell me one neighborhood in a suburb of KC that's like that.
That's not affluent. Yeah.
That's like the whole block is nice, beautiful, $400,000-$500,000 homes, and it's all black. And most of the school is black, and it's a A or B rated type of school, safe, or anything like that. Safe, all of that. Unfortunately, we don't have that, and we were living in Raymore, and it was just like, man, we want our kids to be able to see a little bit more of us, really just prospering. Like we were like 2% or something in Raymore, and right now we're in a suburb of Atlanta, and I looked it up. is 42% white and 37% black.
Crazy.
In a suburb that's like 40 minutes out. You
Yeah.
understand? And we're usually, if you're 40 minutes out from KC, we dots out there, you know. So anyway, like it's a prospering African American community. Anything else you want to add to what that move was? Or
I think for me it was a big part of is my daughter seeing themselves. My daughter was the only Black girl in the kindergarten class, not her classroom, like the kindergarten class. I mean, you had like one other mixed one, so that was a big thing. Like going to school, seeing girls with beads. But for me, even personally as a woman, like Kansas City, you know, it was a very unique experience with Black women of like that are still cultural, but class and elegance and making money and talking about money. It was a rare thing to like find that. And then I knew coming out here where, I mean, being fly, dope, modest, and like, you know, still on her stuff independently, it's the norm. And so the drastic shift, I needed that. I needed to see more women to, you know, it's almost like they say, you don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room, or you don't ever want to be the biggest fish in the bowl, or whatever it is. Like you want to see many of you so you can know that's possible. So that community is how I wrap that up. Community and getting around dope Black couples and dope Black families and black. You know, it's like
I'm black.
Black, y'all. I'm black.
I'm black, y'all.
And I'm black, y'all.
I'm blacker than black, y'all.
It's facts, y'all.
That's what I see before.
But you in the right spot,
man.
though. I mean, you in the right
it's
spot.
crazy.
I see that. And it's just immediately been an amazing experience. Just like we still be like,
right away.
It's only one white couple.
And actually we made, you know, we tell anybody this before you make any type of move like that. We visited probably like 4 times before we actually made the actual move, just to make sure that this is what we really wanted to do, man. And every time we came, our feeling didn't change. You know, we wanted to get past that euphoria stage. So the first time you come to Atlanta or any new city like Houston or anything, you're like, whoa, this is different from KC, because you didn't really know that we was a small city like that. I didn't know we was a small city till I went to New York for the first time. And they kept calling us Kansas, and I said Kansas City.
Right.
I said Kansas City. Oh yeah, and Kansas, son. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, like we go out there and we want.
What voice was that?
They New York. Yeah, man. Yo, Kansas, son. Yeah. Man. Oh, I want to go to Kansas. Yeah. Anyway, that's what they kept saying. They kept saying, yeah, son. Oh man, yeah, out there in Kansas, B. But anyway, they are just seeing that. But after that first step, it was like, man, you know what? Let's go again. Make sure that this is something we like. Second time we knew it was it. We was like, all right, we good.
Yeah. And we even had bad experiences.
Yeah.
Which was when
that second visit.
Yeah, it was unique, but it was needed. It was I won't even say it was bad. Like we needed that lesson. We needed to, like he said, get over the hype. Like so many Black people, we ain't shooting and
don't get
killed
fooled.
like that.
Woo, anybody looking to move to Atlanta, don't get fooled by the hype. We got some tips for you.
Yeah, we got our lesson, and we were like, oh, the fact that we still want to go after that. Okay, this is for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
For real.
So y'all, no looking back once you left Kansas City.
No.
That's what's up.
It's bigger than us. It's legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My daughter wants to be at a Black college, and she's about to graduate here soon. In-state tuition is better than out of state. That's one thing. But both of my daughters, I only have to talk about moving. They want out of Kansas City. Like once they done with school, they gone.
And just to put this disclaimer out, this isn't like run away from Kansas City. This is the worst. This is the worst place ever. It could be Louisiana for you. It could be Texas for you. It can be Indiana. Yeah. For us, we needed a shock to our system. Exactly. We needed to break the mundane, everyday, just this settledness that for us. First, somebody's thriving in Kansas City.
Yeah,
They got their clientele, they got their business popping. For us, it wasn't that. We knew just with our testimony and things that were attached to us and things that we've been through maritally, individually, we had to go where people didn't know us, you know, and get that fresh start and that clean slate. So
definitely
just wanted to put that out there. Kansas City is not like, get out of there. It could be anywhere for anybody, wherever it is. When you are not growing, you are dying, leave.
Sometimes you just need to change environment. Point blank. You just need to change environment. And that's it.
KC is still home. You know, I left Kansas City like 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And have had no desire to move back. But it's still home. You know, I still have a lot of family there. I still go back and visit. And there's still things about home that you miss about home. But I don't miss the city. You know, yeah. I mean, I miss, you know, elements of being home with the family and your familiar surroundings. But no, I don't miss living in Kansas City. So there's nothing wrong with being there. It's still home. I just I needed something more, and I had to move to get it. So
that's
it
right
going
there.
Right now, you're actually seeing there's something more out there.
More.
You're gonna have to leave where you were, get out of your comfort zone. Expand yourself and grow. That's all it is. So, but you guys you look pretty young. And Nnamdi, I've heard you mention your daughters a couple times. So first of all, how long have you two been married? And how many kids do you have?
So been married now almost 6 years to be in a month. So I might as well say 6 years. And been together since 7. And we have 4 daughters. Y'all pray for me. All girls. All girls.
Ooh, lay hands.
Yeah.
He's doing good.
Oh no, I love. Hey, listen, I tell my, and I'll be honest, Drew. I would not trade not one of my girls for a boy. I'm good. Like
of course you wouldn't trade a girl for a boy.
I'm just saying my girls are just.
You got a junior though, and his oldest.
Oh yeah. Alicia is definitely my
junior.
Yeah, she's junior.
She's doing mini me, huh?
Oh my!
Everything,
from this mannerisms.
It was so great. It was so great seeing him, see her. Like I'm like, see, that's what you be doing. I'm trying to tell you
everything.
What you irritated about, that's what you do.
How old are your kids?
16, 12, 6, and about to be a 5-year-old.
Boy.
Okay. Yeah. So y'all have a blended family then.
Yes.
How is that as far as co-parenting?
You go ahead. Go ahead and tell them.
Truthfully, it has been awful at times. Like really, really, really awful. And then at sometimes it's okay. I wouldn't say it's ever been like, oh no, like this has been really healthy for a long time. This has been really good. It's a huge adjustment. Kind of going back to
for you. I'm sorry, TK. What's the biggest challenge for you since
it's funny? Yeah, it's funny that you asked that, because that was the point I was literally gonna lead into. If y'all remember me saying, like, one of the reasons why I felt I was being pulled to another city is to be around other women who are thriving, who are going for something, building businesses, women that are millionaires, making more money than ever before, Black women. That was a big reason why I was pulled here. Well, you have some women that, are just bitter, like still stuck in 10, 15 years ago and angry, and just, you can see so much rage in them. And that's been the experience, is just seeing hurt women, honestly. Like,
well, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never ever seen a bitter woman in my life. Think that you're lying right now, TK.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, so it's been awful, because when me and Nnamdi got together, I was 21. Like, I was really young. So I came into this situation like, okay, hey, I'm ready to meet him. Like, my name is this, and it was not that. Like, my little vulnerable, naive behind was like, okay, so y'all do know I can fight. So like, like, I'm nice and I'm kind and I'm, very sweet, but like, this is a bit much. And it got to a point where, like, a season of just really, really stupid reasons of the kids, you know, being taken because they're in a. Can I go? Like, can we go there?
Yeah, we can definitely go there, baby. Keep it. I mean, I think I think they good.
And I was gonna ask too because I know a little bit about the situation. Nnamdi shared that with me. Okay. You guys feel free to share or not share or whatever.
Okay, yeah, I just have to make sure.
No, keep it 1,000.
This is how
keep it 1,000. Just don't say their names.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
right.
It started off with like me being angry, like, what the heck? What are y'all? What is confused? It probably more than anger, and then it moved to like, dang, I like actually feel sorry for y'all, like, and not even a way like, oh, pity you, like I got your, you know, like not like that, but like on some real, like, dang, you don't even realize how much you're showing that you are still existing in a space that is no longer here. You don't even realize that you are letting off this signs that you still want to be. You're not even aware. Like you're so, you know how you can be so deep in something that you don't even know how you're moving, how you're operating, how you're speaking. And I was like at a point, because I felt so sorry for them. And I do believe in when you put in good energy, that's what you receive back, what you reap your soul. I was giving Christmas gifts, like, you know, giving out stuff like, hey, we're good. But I realized that it's way bigger than me and Nnamdi. That is an internal spiritual warfare that we don't know nothing about. And so it turned into, it went from that to like, now we just pray and get in these courts.
Yeah, and that's all we can do, you know, to put some little bit context of that. When we first met, we had the conversation just about the kids' moms because, you know, she wanted to know what she walking into. So I said, oh, you good with my oldest daughter, mom? Me and her, actually, we straight. Like, you know, she was married.
Was straight because there was no woman there.
Yeah, but I wasn't even like talking to her. Like we would.
It don't matter.
Actually, we was God. I would see my daughter every, you know, all my scheduled days, all of that. Tell me about like somebody from my church that was trying to holler at her. We was all the way straight. And my other daughter's mom, my 12-year-olds, and we was okay too. I mean, we wasn't on the best of terms. I said she might give us a little trouble, but she still was actually pretty cool too. But I remember OG told me like, hey, he said, you know, when you get married, that's gonna change, right? I was like, what you mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, everything good. I'm like, he wasn't lying. He was not lying. It got worse as time progressed. You know,
you think it was a jealousy and envy, or what do you think it was?
I must have been, but I didn't know. Know. I knew one. She probably should have still had feelings with me. See, because I was engaged with her for a moment, and then we had broken up, and then down the line I got with my wife now. You understand? So that was within a span of time. It was within a year. So I could get her still having some feelings, but the one that I got my oldest one with,
and I even said with the one that he was with before, I'm like, yeah, give her some time. Like y'all were together for dang near a decade on and off, but like as a woman, I can't imagine being so invested and then like watching you like slip away. And this ain't a girlfriend, you're married and you popping kids out back to back. Like, I would even tell. We
only had one child with her.
Huh? No, me.
Oh.
No, I'm saying like we started having kids quickly after.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I ain't probably about extra kids, nobody. Go ahead.
No, I'm talking about us. Who the heck? But no, like watch.
Call Maury real quick. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Yes. What are you talking about?
Not the
daddy. No, but us. And we went to the same church at a time, watching a whole nother family walk in with someone who I would tell him like, no, like literally we okay with giving her some time. But then it's like, okay, it's 7 years. And you don't have like
TK, what I'm hearing then, you said y'all all went to the same church at some time?
Mm-hmm.
So you took her man.
Basically.
that's how she look at it. But I mean, if I put some context,
even though it's a joke, that is the image that I had.
Yeah.
Because Nnamdi proposed to this young lady in front of the entire church on a big holiday.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And mind you, I went to this church, proposed to this young lady, and then it gets quiet and I pop up pregnant. So everybody's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I thought you was with
who's
TK? Yeah. So everybody was like, oh, TK's the homewrecker. But they didn't realize they had broke that off. There had been a gap in between them, and then we came, but they didn't announce the breakup. They didn't say, "Hey, everyone."
I literally did. Nobody was hitting me up. I was like, "Hey, I'm doing this at night. I'm gonna put it on private. Nobody can see when my status changed on Facebook, all of that." I even told her, like, I remember hitting her up, like, "Hey, listen, I'm tired of like faking. We pretend we would still go to the same church, and then like people still be like, "Oh, I'm in a date." We'd be like, "Oh yeah, we still right." And I'm like. And then we go our own separate ways and wouldn't do nothing because we didn't want to face the embarrassment of that we did not actually work after me doing like this almost viral type of proposal. You know what I'm saying? Before viral was a thing, it was viral type of proposal. And so we would do that, and eventually I broke that off or whatever, and nobody really knew nothing except for maybe my pastor and a few other people until stuff happened with you. And, you know, once people, you know, what Charlamagne say, people, nobody care about the truth when the lies more entertaining.
Oh, absolutely, when the lies more entertaining, yeah.
Yep.
So it's very entertaining.
So it's funny you said that. I'm like, no, that's literally what everyone thought.
Like literally that's what people thought. That she came and got me. I was cheating, all that. Like, nah, it wasn't doing none of that.
So you have, you know, your two children from two different women. They were both in the same church, or just the one at the same church?
No, it was just one at the same church.
Okay.
Yeah. And we left for a while just to kind of left like
he said that's the one that what you gonna say?
No, that's the one that's causing all the friction. The one you were engaged to.
No, she's actually causing less.
She's causing less right now. But at that time, she ran with the lie. And so people believe that's what it was. And we have been silent. I went out for social media, everything for probably about almost 6 to 8 months, probably almost a year. I was off of the social media grid. And then when I kept hearing this lie circulating, I'm like, hold on, we about to address this. Like, and people that know me should be standing up and saying something for me. That's supposed to be my brothers here at church. And even my, ain't gonna go there.
Well, but, don't go there. We all know how church folks are.
Yeah, like I even.
Oh, but we don't care about that.
No.
That's not something like I'm. Yeah. That's you. That's
I don't care.
Even leadership and pastors.
My own leader knew that I did not do this thing, and when I came back and talked to him afterwards, he was like, "Oh, you didn't cheat." I was like, no, I'm the one that told. You the one that told me to break up with the girl. Like he had forgot, and the whole lie got to the point to where it felt like the truth all together, and so it was bad. So we eventually did a live, you know, like Lynn, forget this. Let's clear the air. Let's make this happen. And we got a lot of flack. You're gonna get flack from people because that makes the liars. It shows how people lying. Like the people that have been running their mouth on us, saying whatever, it exposed them, and so they start making these subliminals and.
Well, I'll say people with influence.
People influence.
That the influential people is who was speaking and you know carrying the lies, which is why I said it was moving here was that fresh slate for us because it don't matter how much you can yell the truth. When somebody wants to believe a perspective of you, that's just what they gonna believe. You can change, you can flip upside down, you can apologize, which we've done for things that we didn't do, like just trying to be cool. And it's just it was just always a weird, uncomfortable feeling in certain environments. So it was like, oh, okay, y'all gonna keep that perspective, keep it.
It hurt. It hurt bad.
It was cowardly. That's what it got down to. Like, okay, we're just dealing with a bunch of cowards. Like we're talking about years later where conversations could have happened. I believe that me and Nnamdi are very, very easy to speak to. Like we're not like some, when we own this, like I believe very humble. And so the fact that, and then even years later, just finding, like we continued to find out stuff. And what's so crazy, I think the day that we decided we were moving or something that like was really big, we found out more mess. And we were just like, okay, thank you God for this confirmation that we need to get out of here. That's just what it is.
Because long story short, we, after about maybe 2 years from the church or a year and a half from the church, we actually went back. That was my crazy decision, but well, we actually went back to the church, mind you. And one of my daughter's moms was still there. And she eventually ended up leaving herself. But we went back there, served everything, but we continued to, you could tell it was still always that distance. It was always that, like, you know, we here, they there. We had a few that embraced us, but for the most part,
people that didn't know
we
us.
basically almost wasted, in some form 3 years going back, and eventually a year before we just moved here. I said, hey, we done. We decided we're not doing this no more. It's no point. This makes no sense.
So TK, let me ask you.
Put our family through it.
So, you guys been married about 7 years, still a young marriage, in retrospect. So dealing with that tension with the co-parenting situation, did that put any strain on your relationship with your husband?
Oh my God, yes.
Yes. How did you handle that then?
Not well at times, immaturely at times, angrily, violently. Like, yeah, it
not
takes...
violent like she putting hands on you.
No, like
you gotta clear.
Yeah, Lord have mercy, right? Dang, I knew. No, not in that way, but like just so much anger and rage at times. It takes a certain type of woman to deal with the certain type of women that I deal with and still be at peace through it all and still be good with my man. Like, we have been through seasons of just like dealing with court stuff that Nnamdi loves his daughters, like in love with them. And I know most like people say, no, all parents are like, no, anyone that knows Nnamdi will do anything, go over and beyond to take his daughters and make sure they know that they are loved. And at times when, one thing will happen with one baby mama and they would take this kid and that was all Nnamdi talked about. That was his whole existence. Like, marriage was number 2, like marriage was number 2 or 3, depending on if his brain was like after the kids. Like, so it was overthinking about the kids and like praying that they're safe, praying that they're in good environments and being overstressed and just worried about them. That, definitely at times I felt like I'm number 2 on this list of his priorities. So I would act out and just so many different ways, just anger and just being pissed off continuously. Like, oh, why, I gotta always hear about these 2 women. Like, it's forever two other women in our home, basically, because the conversation was so persistent. So yeah, I think I dealt with it immaturely a lot. But like, I feel like on the outside, like internally, I dealt with it immaturely by letting it overcome me. But I feel like I've always presented myself, I would say, mature in the presence of them, or
always,
when it was time to put on that face, I was able to do that. I ain't fighting them or like, what you say yesterday? Like, I'm a, hey, how you doing? All of that. But yeah, it was annoying, I think, to a man or a woman because as women, we don't separate the fact you're talking about the daughter, because like it's automatically we think about the woman that's connected to that. Then it's like, dang, now I'm starting to think about when y'all was together and yuck. Like, I don't want to think about this all day. This is disgusting. But that's what I'm like, sometimes it will be like, let's stay over there with your conversation with your baby mama. So yeah, I handle it immaturely at times, maturely at times, but it takes knowing who I am to also understand, like, this has nothing to do with baby mamas. This is his heart for his children. Mm-hmm. Yes, unfortunately, that comes with these 2 women, but I had to, and still learning to get to the point where I can comfort him without my emotions and feelings getting so tied up in the mix.
Yeah. So, and I'll give you a little history. I'll interject a little bit, and I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate too, but I'll interject because I'll give you a little history. I don't know how much Nnamdi told you, but I've known Nnamdi for a long time. His ex and my ex are sisters, and I'd seen his ex. I'd known her since she was 4 years old, so I always thought she was a sweet girl. But me and my ex had our problems, and her keeping the kids away from my boys, away from me at times. Moving away, and I didn't know where they were. Everything. Okay. Now, yeah. And when I talked to Nnamdi about his situation, you guys' situation, I'm like, it's almost like reliving the past on what was going on. So talking to other people, or trying to put my feet in her shoes. Why would she do stuff like that? And not saying that I don't love, I mean, I love my boy. I love all my kids. I love all three of them, but they have that type of love, and they're trying to show that type of protection. Do you think that they're showing that they're trying to protect their child, or do you think that they're being spiteful?
I mean, it's a clear answer for me. I try to wait a second to be like, okay, could this be love to them? If they lack all common sense, maybe it could be love. Maybe like if they lacked like just basic common sense, that a child, the best way that they can develop, grow, evolve, elevate, learn, be loved, feel loved is two parents. If they miss that, then yes, that they could be feeling like I am protecting them. But if they have that common sense to know that there's statistics and scientifically proven that kids just grow up to better beings when they have both parents, if they have that, then it's spiteful. Like it's just spiteful. I don't know. I maybe it would be spiteful if the kids were being harmed on one side, over here. If the kid, like, I mean, maybe that would be love.
If it protection that we were doing, we were like I was physically abused, something crazy.
They were being, or even emotionally neglected,
abused, something like that.
Something like that. Then okay, yes, but there's no reports. They love their father, like, and me. Shoot, me too. Like all of
I have
receipts.
24/7.
Receipts.
We got receipts, videos, all
of it, recordings, the whole thing of being. I won't go there, but preferring to be with us. Shoot, like preferring to be with us. So definitely. I would say that's spiteful.
Yeah, it is, and I'll tell you, since I am an older person. I also have a daughter. She is 15, will be 16 in a few weeks. Being a little more experienced, I will say the problem comes from people, they get caught in their own shit, and they don't even realize how it's impacting, the children. They don't think about the children. As a matter of fact, it's like they don't even see this is a parenting issue. Because it's still to them a relationship issue between two adults. They're still stuck in that relationship failing, or what happened or did not happen, that they can't even get to the point of, okay, the next step in this relationship is to co-parent. We're no longer going to be what we were. Now we have children to raise, and we both have a part to play.
Yeah.
So we have to now remove ourselves from that, become a co-parent and coexist. But a lot of people who, as you mentioned earlier, are bitter, spiteful, vindictive, carry a lot of hurt with them. People that are hurt, they hurt other people.
Yes.
So
hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
Right. Hurt people. So it's hard for some people to get over that and to see this is bigger than us. This is about our children. And our children are not blind to what's going on. They are taking all this shit in. And they're, I mean, this is going to be, it could be traumatic.
Oh yeah.
No, it is.
It is.
As you get older, you're going to think back on stuff like, damn, man.
Yeah.
When I grew up, man, it was crazy.
Yeah.
You know? And
trauma in the making.
And it's just people don't see that, and it's sad.
Yeah, you try to
level. Tech had to move because he had bad Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I had some bad Wi-Fi. Hopefully, I'm not freezing up again, so I had to move my location.
Okay, we'll be better here. Yeah, no, we tried to like sympathize with them in some ways, and just like I tried to level with them, talk to them straight on the straight level, like, hey, listen. I've even just apologized for the sake of apologizing sometimes. Now, like my 12-year-old's mom, I actually did apologize to her because no matter what happened, was no cheating or whatever, I was like, it just didn't look good. And I put you in a position that you didn't, that's not cool. So I had to apologize on that. The oldest daughter, mom, I'm like, she just flipped the daggone switch. I didn't know what the heck happened. She just got with a dude with a different religion, and all of a sudden, it was over. It was like, Catch me if you can. My daughter said she wanted to live with me one summer.
Yeah.
She said, oh no, she come home. I didn't see her for almost 2.5 years. 2.5 years.
Really?
Yeah, till I finally caught her in KC. Had to catch him in KC. Caught her in KC. Then the pandemic came, but I got an attorney. The pandemic made stuff go stretch crazy. I finally by 2021? 2021, yeah, 2021, finally start seeing my then with 15-year-old going on 16-year-old daughter.
Everything changed.
Everything had changed about her.
Everything changed about her.
You know, besides at the core, she still got a lot of my mannerisms, all those things. But overall, a lot of things had changed. Beliefs, everything had changed. Mind you, she left the Christian girl, all of this. All of a sudden, she come back. She's in the potions and lotions and crystals and all types of other stuff.
And not to say like,
but she believing that they
lacking common sense.
It's
like lacking.
If what other people believe, that's on them. But anyway, my baby left. She was a certain faith. Anyway, so I had to kind of relearn her, get to know her, and then when the mother knew that the case wasn't gonna go her way this time, which just was here last few months ago, she got up out of here. She left with her relationship that she got with the guy who changed her religion. They got married. She's going through a divorce. She left with his kids because he hit me up. Me and him is connection. And we try, and like he's like, hey, you see my kid? Nah, you see her? No. I think she over here. I think it just gone, man. So
when you say
wild stuff, man.
She left town, or what do you mean?
Oh yeah, she left town
with the
kids.
kids.
To a whole different state. In the middle of the night.
End of the school year. Even the people at the school was confused.
Took her out of school.
That's like a thief in the night, huh?
I'm talking about literally. Like literally. We had her one day. We're going to pick her up. Was like, hey, she ain't showing up. We went to that daggone house. That must look like a dark house.
Nobody had been there for a minute.
Police went there. Like, yeah, looked like she been gone for a minute. Got the mail stacked up. I'm like, dang. So, I was like, that was
dude. Okay, and I'll tell you, man. I'll tell you how it happened with me was when I got into my relationship with my daughter's mom, and the boys were coming over. We dropped them off on the house up there off 72nd, and I'd seen a bunch of trash bags down at the bottom of the hill. I'm like, I told my wife at that time, I was like, I think she moved, and per the course, they're supposed to let you know. Next thing you know, I'm trying to call my boys. I can't get a hold of them. That was actually Thanksgiving weekend that I had them. I didn't see them again until April. It devastated me because anybody who knows me knows my kids are my life.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, it's that same pattern. I didn't even find out until my cousin saw my middle son in school, and like, hey, that's my cousin. And went home, told her mama. Her mama called my ex-wife, and then my ex-wife told me when I got home, or wife at that time. I was like wow. And so I know what you're going through, brother.
It's tough.
If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to subscribe and like us on YouTube, and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. So Nnamdi, is that kidnapping? I don't know the laws like that.
They don't classify it as that. The law don't look at. Here's the thing, man. It really disturbs me how women can do these things, because had it been a man, we'll be locked up. They've been to put a Amber Alert out. All of that.
Y'all know, we've literally seen Amber Alerts where it's the father.
Yeah.
It's the father that took the kid. But they don't do that for the mom.
Yeah, they don't do that for the mothers, man. And so you think they made a ruckus about her being gone? It was like, hey, good luck. Should be in court, and it is what it is. And to be honest with you, even when you win a case, even after you win the case, it's still a chase, and they can't make a child do anything. Nope. It's wild, man. So I'm talking about it's just straight devastating. It's a roller coaster. That, man, I've been counting my years. Like, okay, I got a couple. Hey, and my daughter now, after she came back this last year, I think we deposited so much into her during that time. She knows she loved. She know it, and I know she loves me too. You understand? And so now that she's like, she just answers my text, things of that sort. But now that she's back up under this kind of like, it almost seems like hypnotism. Like it's wild. She changes. Like I don't even want to talk to her because she's not her. She's whatever her mama told her to say. It's almost like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's a wild thing, man. It's just draining. And so I usually promise it's probably about the most I talk. I try not to even talk about it because it's
we had to go to counseling. I'm like, this is consuming this man's life. Help. Help us. This is the conversation in our home every day for a year. Help.
It hurts. It does. And you know, a lot of the narratives out there are that, you know, black men, you know, don't
black men don't cheat.
You know, black men don't cheat. Oh, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's not a narrative. That's the truth, Ruth. But
I plead
I was gonna say, black men are not
definitely. I don't.
But so often, a lot of our black men are there, but for some reason they're having obstacles and things put in their way when they're trying to be actually there for their children. And it's like it's disheartening, it's confusing, and I don't know if it's just black men. I think men in general have this, because I'm in a Facebook group for single dads, you know, and there's so many stories on that one about hell they're going through. It's just being a dad is hard.
Yeah, I think mental health is the biggest problem here. You know, like really, like I believe that the kids' mothers, a lot of these kids' mothers, because I know I'm not the only one. Like I don't know how many brothers, and I got some ideas of ways that I want to help eventually when I'm in position to, but we got to stop this. Like back in the day, it was like supposedly the daddies wasn't around. You know, understand? Now the daddies want to be around. And supposedly I say that because what I learned as I grew up and I started talking to some of these OGs, they didn't have the money to really fight for you. So now you said your daddy was a deadbeat, but it was hard for him to even get in there, and then your mama moved and all this other stuff. Yeah. But like I think that overall, back to my original point, overall, it's them not being able to go deal with the healing that has to happen inside. And so the only thing they got, you know, to really get back at us is the child. That's the only way that they can mess with me. Other than that, I don't care. They know I don't care not one bit. I don't care who they sleep with. I don't care who they with. I be happy when they get married.
They truly can care less.
Yeah, could care simply less. The only thing that they got to fight back with. And so I try to see this from the other side. Because I'm like, yeah, that's her only way of getting at me. So in some ways, like I kind of get it sometimes, but then it's like, hey, no, not for real. Because if you really love her, if you really love that child, if you really love your son or whatever, your child may be that, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't put them through that. Like literally one of my daughters, this is such a traumatic situation. One of them that was taken from me, my 12-year-old, she at one time was taken away from me, hadn't been around for probably about 6 months to, I don't know, might have been almost a year actually. And
I'm like, which time?
Yeah, she was like 9, but she was 9 at this time.
Oh, when she thought she didn't eat.
Yeah, when she thought she didn't eat, and then she took her away for a while. It's some silly.
A year.
Yeah, it was about a year. And she ended up getting clever enough to go through her mom's phone on her YouTube, comment on one of my wife's videos. It said, "This really helped me," or something like that.
It was basically like a help sign.
Yeah, a help sign. And we were like, why would she say that to you?
But it was under her mama's name. So when I got the notification, I was like, now I know dang sure this lady ain't saying I like this video. Like I was like, no, baby, this is baby girl. And it just happened to be the perfect timing for us to like literally go rescue her.
Yeah, rescue her. She was being at home by herself, being left at home by herself. A maintenance man was going in and out as I pulled up. She's there by herself. Maintenance man going in and out. Mind you, a little girl, 9 years old, right?
Yeah.
So I called her to the door, and I took her that day, and it eventually enforced us going to court and getting visitation, things of that sort. So I mean, this is stuff that she remembers. Like in her head, she had to go fight for me just as much I had to fight for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would also say, like, I was just thinking as you were talking, like, how traumatic must it be for a father to like literally lose his child? Like, I just thought about like so many different ways that a father can lose his child. A woman can abort it, and the man has no say so. Like, there's just so many different routes that it can happen. And when your child is 10, 8, you've gotten to know this precious being, and then it's just like, nope, no more. I'm pissed off. I'm mad. And I think it's so many different like facets to it. Cause it's like, you know, you can't say, oh, this is the only thing you can use, but it's like, how much do you love baby girl? How much do you love baby boy though? Like, when do we say not another generation? Like, when do we say I won't be that same woman that does this? And it's crazy because when I met Nnamdi, I didn't know anything about this world. Like baby mama still being mad at baby daddies and still going in and out. Like I never dated a man
welcome
with
to our
kids.
world. Welcome to our
Yeah,
world.
like whoa, what a welcome! Like
you just been baptized.
Okay, like look, it's like, you know, when you go in for a birthday party and they like throw sprinkles and stuff on. You know, I was getting hit with what's not a real firearm, but like what's the ones BB gun? It was like soon as I came in, like wait a minute, but I learned that this has been happening forever though. Like my father went through the same exact thing. I met my brother for the first time and he was 40. And his mother told my dad, as long as you're married to this woman, which was my mom, you will not see your child. And that's exactly what happened. The same scenario that my dad didn't want to be in his life. And the same thing. And then there's a conversation at 40, like, no, I was fighting. I was fighting for you. And I have my sister, one of her good friends, he just had a conversation with, a couple years ago with his 21-year-old, had to let him know, like, and pulled out the emails and pulled out the receipts. No. Now that you're old enough to like have this grown conversation. And unfortunately, it's sad because even when we were talking about like deadbeat dads, no, like they're literally forced to be deadbeats. They're literally forced to like have to not care. Like not only are you
don't get any help from the courts, unfortunately.
Oh, none. And so you're forced to move on and say, I mean, I guess I'll see you after you become an adult and we can have a real combo. And it's just, it just has to be traumatic for the child and the father. And women can be really prideful and spiteful and bitter. And I mean, we are great at holding grudges.
Again, I have the slightest idea what you're talking about.
They can beat a man's submission using children. They really can. So I always say that all of our decisions have consequences, good ones and bad ones. So we have a new segment that we're going to roll out on this podcast, and we're calling it Hey Young World. Big shout out to Slick Rick, you know, Hey Young World.
Hey Young World.
And what it is if you can go back and talk to your younger self, say maybe your 20-year-old self or, you know, whatever, what's like one thing you would say to them right now, like, to help them navigate?
Be a book.
Go ahead. I love that. Man, if I could, man, I would tell that young man to number one, fall in love with Christ early. Get to learn that Bible, you know, early. Whatever version that fits you. See, when I was growing up, all I knew was like King James Version. I looked them up one time, I was like, thou shalt.
Hard to read.
I couldn't understand it, so I couldn't read it, right?
Yep.
So I didn't mess with it. Music wasn't, you know, they have no dope music for Christians or anything like that. So, you know, all the world was blaring loud at me. But I definitely would tell them to fall in love with Christ, first off, and to, you know, that he's like, you are the catch. Like, you are the catch. Like, I did all these things trying to, you know, I think a lot of young men do, trying to appease women and catch them and all of that, when you don't realize that, like, you the man. Like, for real, they like, we are like, they outnumber us. They need us. Point blank. So you are the catch, and won't you just work on you and build your vision, up. So that, learning Christ, keeping myself, I would have kept my virginity, okay? But like, my thing is precious. I don't need theirs. And then figure out figure out your, huh?
I'm so weak.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Hey.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
that's
I'm
me.
listening. I'm listening.
That's me. That thing got
Yeah.
me in that thinking with that head got me in got me talking almost an hour now about some Negroes that I could care less about. Like
Okay.
literally could only care if they breathe, and that's about it.
For them
You
10
understand what I'm
minutes, for them
saying?
6
Like,
months.
I get you.
like, no, you stay there. You're good. When you learn it, because if we learn self-control, that if a man can get self-control, man, he
Not
can
even
do so much
self-control,
more.
self-worth.
Yeah, self-worth.
Like
and
you
self-control.
wouldn't be smashing these buckethead chicks.
No.
Like you wouldn't be making buckethead chicks the mother of your child.
Like
if you thought with self-worth. If you like, nah, like, and that's one thing that I know.
Not the bucket head. Not the bucket head chicks.
Buckethead. You gotta remember that.
No, I'm not talking about them specifically. I'm not talking about them specifically. But no, seriously, like the same thing, and I'm sorry to cut you off. But it's self-worth, not even just self-control, but like self-worth. Like we teach that to women, like know your worth. Don't open your legs unless he bringing this. The same for men. Like, don't just smash her because she got a big butt and big boobs, like, or she just look good. Like, don't do that because that same woman is the one that you're gonna have to deal with for 20 years. You trying to grow and evolve as a man and even change. You can't change because this woman is in your background until this child, and then it's not even after 18. You got to think these kids gonna get married. Who's gonna be at that wedding? That book. I mean, the other one. If that kid has a child, who's gonna be at the hospital? You're still gonna have to interact with these beings that you were, 20 years ago thinking with that.
About them. I see them there, but like they ain't in. I don't got to go to court about seeing my daughter no more about that. But I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying,
seeing them. No, I see you
still
like
got to deal with them in some fashion.
Yeah, definitely. It's just like seeing them. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah, I told somebody this the other day. Like, I said the problem with this is that we have now evolved. I was telling my friend this. We have now evolved, and we're bringing somebody that wasn't supposed to be here with us alone. And that's painful for them. Why? Wow. Because you've grown, they haven't grown.
Right.
So jealousy and envy plays a part when the daughter come back and be like, my daddy just got a new house and blah, 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 whatever. So they start seeing that, they start feeling a way about that. They want to keep them away from that because of where they're at right now. Yeah. So I'm dragging somebody that was not meant to be with me for the rest of my life through the rest of my life. And that's the issue right there. They need to be back at 70-some street, whatever the case may be. Like, that's where they were supposed to be left at. God didn't mean for that. He meant for me to find one woman and stick with that woman and love her for the rest of life. I have all our kids. If you would look, most successful people that their journey, it didn't take too long. They got successful in their 20s, whatever. They typically had their kids by one woman. Typically, when I keep looking at all these different people that's out there in front that we're seeing, that are doing very well, it is those who played it right. They played they got their woman, they settled down, they had all their kids by her. If you see most of the pastors, even some of your most affluent businessmen or whatever, they got them all with one woman. When you got to bring all these women, it creates obstacles, and it keeps you sometimes from the things that you want to accomplish because you're spending the money that you could have been investing in that business. Now you got to spend in the court dealing with her butt. You understand? You spend that money that you could have been investing in that business, overpaying in child support. You understand? Thank God I don't have that problem. But you know what I'm saying? But like that's really that's what's going on. So anyway, in the order, I would have chose Christ early. Okay. I would have kept myself and got my vision together, got my vision of where I wanted to be. Where do I want to go in life? I would have told him, get that together. Now go find you a queen that can meet you in there. And y'all can go kill the game. Y'all can go kill the game. The issue, young man, is that you're doing things backwards. Okay, you're doing the thing that's supposed to be last. What God meant last, He meant that climax. That's what's called a climax because it's supposed to the end, right? Yeah. He meant for that climax. He meant for you to have that after you went and put a ring on and all those things. You're doing it backwards. So now you got that first. You're so clouded because that thing got you. You, man, gosh, dang it, I need to see her again and again. Negroes be spending all day with each other, Netflixing it up and all of that daggone stuff, and don't really even know each other emotionally yet.
Definitely not.
Guess when they find that out? After now we got to deal with each other. Now we got baby mama, whatever the case may be. Guess what they find that out? You understand? Like I'm not sitting here saying that we didn't have it done before. You know, we had a kid outside of it, and
Definitely.
I had to find out things about my wife after the fact. I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
Now I gotta adjust to. I didn't know that. I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know. I should have been talking to her more. It should.
But at least y'all working at it right now.
Yeah, we're doing. Yeah, no, we're doing it. It's great now. But don't get it wrong. That's God's grace. Not everybody makes it through that. You understand? Some of my guys that end up just would have been a third baby mama, whatever the case may be. Thank God my wife knew the Lord. Like, if she loved him more than she loves me. You understand? Because really, I brought baggage into a marriage. You understand? I brought baggage into a marriage. When you go through something off and on for 8 years, your butt need to time out for probably about a couple years or so. You need to chill out, get to know the Lord, get to know yourself, figure out what you did wrong. Now recalibrate and go. I went too quick.
Yeah.
That's not how you move. And that's the unfortunate thing about men. I know you hear how men always, we can just move on and the ladies, they don't, whatever. That's the problem. We continue to carry the next chicken to the next one. You understand? We carrying her into our future, messing it up, bringing her in there, the issues that we had there. And that's the problem with many of us. And that's why we can't be successful in a marriage, man. So I would have just told him to order your steps, man. Order your steps. Christ, man. Keep yourself. Get your vision. Now go get your queen. Y'all go build a kingdom.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Good word. TK, can you follow that?
I don't know if I can. Like,
I don't know either.
That's it. Mine's just a little more simpler, you know. But it would be to not ignore your discernment and what you feel, and not being in environments where you're tolerated, but being celebrated. I feel like I was continuously in environments where I knew I was big, like, and not even saying money or anything like that, but just my aura and who I was. And I would always just quiet myself down to not intimidate other women or make other women feel any type of way. So just going, I would say, TK, go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. Okay. That's really it. Because all I needed was a shift of environments with people that they're so focused on themselves. They believe in themselves so much that believing in somebody else is just an overflow of their self-love. And so that was really it.
That's good.
Mine ain't deep.
That
was
straight to the point. Celebrated, not tolerated. That's a t-shirt. If it's not a career, it's a t-shirt. Sweatshirt. Yeah. Use that.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
for real.
I love this conversation. I had a great time talking to you guys. Even though Frank was sputtering and spitting out,
I could hear him.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you good.
Yeah. It'll make for good radio, but not for good video today.
It's all good. That's what edit is for. It's all good.
Okay.
Say word.
Definitely. So, we appreciate you guys.
One more time, give me the name of the podcast that you guys have.
Yes, it is The Iwegbus. That's THE space IWEGBUS. And also mine is at TK Lee.
Yep, definitely.
Yours?
You're talking about Instagram. That's Instagram. Okay.
Well, no, that's everything.
Okay, yeah.
Everything.
My name on Instagram is Nnamdi06, NNAMDIOSIX. Okay. You can find me there on Instagram, but like I said, the YouTube is The Iwegbus. And yeah, we about to get things revving back up now since we just finished our transition. So watch out for us, man. I'm ready to get back at it. As you can see, I'm full. Ready to go.
Fired up. I see it. Yeah. You're ready to go. Well, that's what's up.
Definitely.
I would definitely, show notes and all that.
Also, check out my wife. Hey, listen. We got a lot of artists out there, female rappers that are, naked and just, blaring cuss words here and there, whatever. They just explicit straight up. That's what's fly nowadays. And that's what these kids are flocking to. Okay. So we got a lot of little girls doing that. Man, look up TK Lee. TK Lee. Look, I'll tell my wife to sit down if she wouldn't know. Straight up. Real talk.
He would.
My wife is she could go pound for pound with dudes. Watch her on one of her ciphers and see what I'm talking about.
Nice.
That cold. Look her up. Get your, especially if you got if you got a daughter, like why would we still have them listening to Cardi and all this different stuff in the explicit version at that, mind you. When we got some people out there that got clean music, like my wife TK Lee, man, look her up on your Spotify, all your different streaming platforms.
Thanks,
and man, sure, I'll give you some money if you think she ain't dope. Come on.
I used to actually do that. I used to actually be down on what's the place with the jazz museum and everything? Yeah, like me and my old manager would be like, "Hey, we'll give you money if you don't think her 16 is fired." And I would just spit in front. They'd be like, "Okay," and nice. We never paid anyone. It was like, "Hey, we'll give you some money if you listen to her real quick." And that's kind of how I started building. But yeah, y'all check me out. If y'all get tired.
I see you got some good views on here. I just subscribed to you, so you got a new subscriber.
Thank you. Yeah, if y'all get tired of a woman sticking her tongue out and twerking, and you just want to have,
I won't get tired of that. But you know, it's good to have. Change.
Hold on, but that's all you want. You didn't let me finish, and that's all they do. Like that's all they're about. They can't have no conversation. They just gonna twerk and make it clap all day. That's the type of woman you want. Never.
I want that entertainment, but that ain't no. Who I want for life, but the entertainment is cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like all types of entertainment, but yeah.
I
did what you're doing.
The sucky thing about entertainment, though, is that influences lifestyles.
Come on.
Yeah.
So the media, TV, music, it's no longer entertainment. It's like this is especially to our such. Yes, like our kids next to you. I literally was at Walmart I know this is over, but I was at Walmart and saw a little crop top set and for like a 2-year-old. I'm like, why does a 2-year-old stomach need to be out? Mm-hmm. But like more and more and more and more, the music is the biggest influence of all. You think it's good, but you ain't gonna want your 4-year-old daughter making it clap. Like you ain't gonna want your 8-year-old daughter making it clap. You ain't gonna want your 9-year-old daughter saying, "I lost my virginity. I got hit from the back at school," because I'm listening to this and this is the norm and this is what's sexy and this is what is getting attention from men. So if I'm covered up, that doesn't look like what I'm seeing. All these fly chicks got their tongue out, got their bodies done. This natural body must not be that good. So let me go to the doctor. Like it affects lifestyle. So that's why I'm so passionate about not shaming people, but now we got to have grown-up conversations. Oh, this is actually programming us and giving us our new norm for women and for men. Yep. So that's why I think it's so important to have that balance of women that come in and say, hey, let me tell you, it's not the body. Like, yes, take care of yourself, go to the gym, eat right, of course. But it ain't nothing like, it ain't nothing worse than a pretty, empty woman. You talk to her and you're like, so who are you? Like, you're trying to pull conversations out of her because all baby girl has done was invested in her outer appearance, took no time to work on the inner man. And so that's why I preach what I preach. Work on yourself, be fly, be pretty, but like have depth.
Hey, young world, actually, that was her last. It wasn't that simple, actually. It was a little more than what she thought it was going to be. But with that, hey, listen.
Yeah, maybe to the younger generation, yes.
Dope conversation. Nnamdi, TK, thank you for coming out. We appreciate you on the show.
Appreciate y'all for having us. Definitely, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Keep helping the men out there. Continue to let them know that the kings, they can move on, man. They can go, they can prosper. They can go do their thing, man. I'm loving what y'all doing here, man. And I'm praying many, many blessings for it to explode, man, and reach millions, man. Definitely.
Yes.
Appreciate you, brother.
Much love.
Much love.
With that, I think we're out of here. Big Frank.
Lil J.
We out, y'all. Let's move on.
Peace.
If you enjoyed that episode, don't forget to subscribe and like us on our YouTube channel and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform.